So, regarding LeBron's situation in terms of not having no bag, right? So we talked about him being bagless, the bagless Bronny, right? The bagless Bronny. But anyway, and he alluded to the fact that he had all those points. He scored, 50,000 points. He was being, sarcastic. However, but being an all-time leading scorer, he said, I did all that without a bag. Whether that's here or there or anywhere, what I want to say is that I think that LeBron jumping from teams to teams and having very favorable teams against the competition actually hurt his ability to develop a bag. See, back when those guys were playing like Magic and Jordan and all of those guys, Zaya and all, like when you had a deficiency, it was talked about so much that you worked on it and you went and perfected it. Kobe, whatever his deficiencies they said he couldn't do, whether it was a three-point shot early on, or whatever the case may be, they went and they really worked and perfected it. So I think, and consequently what happened to LeBron was you were getting to the championship in the least so easy that it didn't prompt you to really have to work on developing a handle. You know what I mean? He did develop a jump shot because, in that Dallas series, they just kind of lagged off on him. In San Antonio, that was the scouting report, let LeBron shoot. So he kind of did, take care of that. However, if you look at it, so you take an example, you take Kobe. And you look at Kobe in the way that he developed after Mike. So what it was he took step by step to develop his game. The mid-range game, right? The midi, right? The pull-up game, right? The back to the basket game, right? All those things. You really never seen LeBron develop those things. And, maybe it's not his game because sometimes we cannot, just expect everybody to play like Mike. And I'm okay with that. All I'm saying is that considering the fact that if you could have improved on your post-up game and doing some of those things or what have you, it would have behooved you to have to be able to do that. Right? Because look at you, you're 6'8". Mike and Kobe's elbow game was dangerous. They were dangerous. So how much dangerous would LeBron be having an elbow game being at 6'8", 260, and you already at the elbow by the foul line? You're almost maybe 8 feet away from the basket. So just imagine your ability like Jordan and Kobe used to do with the shimmy, come up, get you off, go for it, and then now you got a clear pathway to the lane. And a lot of times those guys, Kobe and Mike, had to be creative because they were going up against big bodies. So they had to be creative. Now sometimes they would just bang it on you, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they had to be creative to evade you. LeBron wouldn't have had to do that because he's 6'8", 260. He bringing it right to you. You got to be careful of banging with him that you might get hurt in certain instances, right? So when I look at his game, I think him jumping from team to team and not playing against really top competition to make him elevate his game, I think that would hurt his ability to develop a bag. Because even when you look at his handle, let's get real. You could have worked on your handle for real, right? You could have definitely improved that. And in this area, and the reason why the bag is in question is the same reason my bag is in question, to be honest with you. And that is when you can't maintain the ball with continuous dribbling while being pressured on defense without losing it, is slipping. And it's countless videos of when he starts to get going and getting his, downhill motion to go, the ball will quirm out. The opponent will have be able to, hit it. He'll fall down and go off his shoe. He didn't have the ability to continuously dribble the ball. And especially the way, because 6'8", 260 makes it a little bit difficult to just keep your frame and fly by a guy, right? That first step. So you might have to do a little bit more shake and bake in order to achieve that, right? So as a result of not really developing that, if you look at his game, it was more power. It was more, I get a lane, I get an avenue, I'm going to the hole, and I'm going to be hard to stop. And of course, when he started to develop the three-point shot, and some his midi is still subpar. It's okay. It has definitely improved. He morphed into his 3 game, and that has improved a lot too. That has aided him in still being able to be at the level that he is and averaging the 24 points. But other than that, with being able to really get those points based on, when we talk about skill set, no, he really never developed that. Footwork, what, C at best? Handle, C? If y'all want me to be nice, B minus, but that's being too nice. C. Right? Jump shot, B minus. I give him a B minus for his jump shot. Came along a little bit, you know. But far as, you know, the bag, being able to really get dudes off balance and be creative and do all those things, those guys like Kyrie Irving, those guys like Stephen Curry, those guys like Jamal Crawford, those guys were able to, these guys are James Harden, they can keep the ball on a continuous basis without being disturbed while they're making a move. And that's when you talk about having the bag. Now, Mike was such just a to B guy that all of that, now Mike had handle, right? It wasn't crazy like a Kyrie handle or a Stephen Curry handle. Right? And Mike would be the first to tell you, I didn't need to develop that to do what I want to do. Just like he talked about the three-pointer. He's like, nah, that's not what my game is. And then if I settle for standing around for a three-point shot, now I find myself like just standing around waiting for the ball to be passed to me, and that's not my game. So I'm just going, you know, downhill. And he was more downhill. Even Kobe would use more of his bag to get you off balance and get at you. Mike was so quick too. So that was another thing. He was cat quick. So Mike would just hit you with jab steps, one quick dribbles, hezzy pull up, you know what I'm saying, get by you, you know, drop the shoulder, one step he dropped the shoulder. Mike was perfect for dropping his shoulder once he got by a defender where you couldn't recover. And with the vertical counter lead that he had, once he got you on his shoulder and now he starts to go airborne, it's lights out for you. It's lights out for you. And you had to respect everything that he did. So that's why when Reggie Miller talks about Mike, when he talks about him, he says, no weakness. No weakness. You know, so what does that entail? When I go out and defend someone, the first thing I'm looking for is where is their weakness? Because I'm going to push them to that. John Stock said the scouting report was good luck. Right? No, you got these guys saying no weaknesses. So that's the point of developing an all-around game where you got a little bit of a handle, nice jump shot, you got a nice, and you know, layup package and all those types. That's skill set. And now, don't get me wrong, like I said, when you're 266'8", a powerful locomotive, and you find yourself getting to the basket and it's easy for you, then you know, you may not feel you need to develop those things. But for a guy that says, one thing you won't ever question me about, and not to don't question you about it, is that I don't work hard. Well, I would think after 20-something years, you would develop some type of better footwork, some type of better back to the basket, some type of better handle where you can keep it from a continuous motion more than 4 dribbles by being pressed. You know, some going to pull up. 20 years, I'm expecting that you would develop that, you know what I mean? Especially after the last, like, several years when you heard that was the comparison and that's what you lacked. And you didn't go in all those hours, you didn't go and just handle head up, tennis ball, head up, tennis ball, You know, you didn't like do all of that, 2-ball dribbles and all of that stuff. Like, this is going to be something that you're not going to be able to say, I don't have in my game no more. Did you? Oh, okay. Yeah, because I like when they said, yo, you know, I remember they still always say, drive him left when I used to play ball. And trust me, I'm not here talking about some basketball icon figure or whatever. I'm like the most average person. I play ball. All right, and I played high school ball. But when I played, it was like, yo, push him left. I got so tired of hearing that I worked so hard on going left that's my preferred way to go. So when I call for the screen, and he said on the right side, I got to give it away, right? Even though I got to give it away by telling him, no, come to the other side, I still prefer to give it away and go to my left, use my left versus going to my right. And that was crazy because earlier on my career was all right, because that's my dominant hand, but I got so, I'm like, no, that's not going to be the narrative no more. I'm going to just be playing me left. Matter of fact, that's going to be the preferred way for me to go. And that's what it is now. It actually, when I come down, I got to be forced to go right. That's weird for me. And sometimes I would go left so much, where people will play me to my right, and I'd be like, okay, thank you. That's my dominant end. You know what I'm saying? And then it's kind of a thank you, and it's kind of a no thank you. It's awkward because I feel more strong sometimes going to my left. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that, yeah. So you have so much of a easy road that I don't think it challenges you to put those elements in your game. So maybe Kawhi is probably right when he says, you know, I saw MJ and Kobe really dripping in sweat and working hard and doing, you know, like it was game time. He said, LeBron up there shooting 1-foot threes in practice. And I know you're like, yo, he hating on LeBron, he hating on LeBron. I'm talking facts. I'm saying hate. He is great, and I do appreciate it. So I'm just talking facts. From a basketball perspective, purely. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he can say, and one can say, you know what? I'm the all-time leading scorer in basketball, bro. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? So you can make that case, and I respect it. I respect it. But I'm just speaking on terms of the development of the overall game and what I acknowledge personally from watching these most discussed right now in this time 3 players play basketball. So I'm just going on my eye test. What I saw Mike come in. Mike was an all-go-to-the-basket guy when he first came in the league too. His jump wasn't that crisp. He could just go to the well a lot. Now he shot jump shots, obviously, right? But he was a go-to-the-basket type of guy. And then I saw Mike develop a jump shot. People said he couldn't shoot. That was the knock. Mike can't shoot. Mike can't shoot. Mike said, okay. Went, started shooting. Then he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, well, off the dribble. He had pull-up, off the dribble, jab step pull, one dribble pull, one dribble crossover pull. It was like, okay, what are you going to do now? So he was still way athletic in his career, developing these things. So Mike became the type of player, and this is what y'all have to look at too. This is huge when we talk about GOAT type of talk. When you play a player, right, you be like, okay, the nightmare, it's not that difficult, y'all. This is why when I train basketball athletes, I tell them it's not really that difficult. If you're able to do these 2 things, now all the other tangibles will come in if you got verticality, if you got speed, then that adds to the mix, right? That's the stuff that start putting you on par on next level type of stuff. However, just being able to knock down a consistent jump shot off the dribble with moves, and then being able to go by your person and finish at the basket. That creates like a nightmarish matchup. Most players I played in my career didn't possess that. Now I didn't go and play on the highest of highest levels like college and rather semi-pro where you're gonna incur that eventually, no question about it, right? So I didn't, but I will tell you that just in my whatever career, I rarely met, and still even in high school, I really see guys who can do both consistently. I ain't talking about that, he can knock down an occasional jump shot, or he open, or he might hit a dribble. No, I'm talking about a guy that you be like, if I give him space, it's a problem. And if I get too close, he's going to go by me. Right? So for me, Hassan Mabin comes to mind when I think about that for high school right now. That's who comes to mind. If you get up on me, I'm going to go by you and I finish at the basket relatively well. If you give me space, I'm going to knock a Jimmy in your mouth. So what are you going to do? Pick your poison or what you want to do. Right? So that's what Mike's developed into. And then latter part of his career, when his speed diminished a little bit, his verticality wasn't that much, you get older, it's just, he developed it back to the basket. Back to the basket. Boop, boop, boop. Shimmy's going on, half shimmy, got you. Boom, full shimmy, head fake, got him. Because you got to honor everything that he does, because he can score on you, and that's a nightmare to defend people like that. Like, I go like this, you got, he got you, I go like jab step, he got you on every whim. You have to respect everything that he does. So that's why he had a yo-yo, he had you on a string. So he developed the back to the basket, hitting you, and then the fadeaway. Oh man, that was like lights out again. What do you do with a 6'6" guy with that kind of verticality, right? Hitting you with a fade and then fading at 6'6", way up here. If he goes straight up, no, when Mike used to hit you and go straight up in your face, you a lot of times because of his verticality and whatever, you wasn't gonna even get a hand up there to disturb him. Now he's leaning, right? He jumping high, leaning back. How you gonna get that? That, you know what that is? That's equivalent to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's sky hook. That's what that's equivalent to. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's sky hook. Where it was one of those unstoppable shots to stop straight up and nearly impossible to block as well. So you saw the progression of the development of his game adding on in steps of the way, right? And he had to have those challenges because he was going up against Detroit, who was tough, and Boston, and he was going up against New York and Indiana, you know, Cleveland. He was going up against some strong teams where it forced him to develop these skill set in order to achieve what he eventually went on to achieve. And fast forward to Kobe, very similar. Very similar. Kobe could not really shoot like that. Remember, he shot the air balls and the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, and was working to find himself and different things. Now, he had the talent, the skill set was there, but you seen him too. Kind of the similar course of Mike. I'm just gonna say that, ditto. Like, come in, start the middies, boom, boom, boom. Had the handle. You know what I'm saying? Had the ditty with his handle and all of that. Bang on you with the basket. Layup package was nutty. So yeah, ditto. Just say ditto. That's it. So all I'm saying is that I saw a progression of putting stuff in their bag. Footwork. You know, put handle. You know, mid. One dribble pull. All that stuff. Fade away. Back to the basket. You didn't really see that with LeBron. And that's all people are saying. That's all people say with LeBron. Don't need to take him around like bad. We're just saying, you want to compare. We're comparing players. So this become a comparison analysis here. So now we got to do a process of elimination of why you are or aren't the GOAT. That's what this conversation starts to turn into when we're talking about a comparative analysis of players. So that's why the conversation was derived from. It was derived in the fact that we're saying LeBron, Kobe, Mike, and Magic. So now we got to start breaking down this thing. We start breaking down what a player had, what was their pro, what was their con, what was they good at, what was they bad at, what was their strength, what was their weakness. Now we got to do that. So that's all was being done, and that's what I just did here. That's it. Let's take a look at what that looks like. That's it. So, and I was just watching something today, and I was like, it's true. Like, I think it was Iman Shepard. He was like, it's a wonderful thing for LeBron because he gets to be in the conversation, debate with Mike in barbershops and, you know, whatever, even salons or whatever. So, and I agree with that. I think that it's an honor. Really, I think it's an honor because he doesn't belong in the same conversation as the GOAT like that with Mike. And I'm not going to get into the nuances of why and why not, but I understand that this thing has been superseded for marketing, promotional purposes, and all of those things. And, you know, LeBron, it was said that he said in a meeting that he looked over one NBA player, said, I'm going to replace that guy. I'm going to erase him. Something to that degree. And it makes sense because everything that you've done and been doing speaks to you wanting to erase him. Where most players a lot of time just play. And they let all the fans do all of that and what that outcome going to be. It looks like, and this is where I guess I get a little annoyed. No, I get a lot of annoyed. Is the fact that you made a concerted effort besides playing on the playground to make yourself the GOAT. That's the part that annoyed me, right? I don't mind doing what you do, calling yourself the king, crowning you the chosen one. That's fine. When you in your whole, and you know, this is something that y'all see. Just LeBron was the first ahead of it because he's seen money. Those guys paved the way for these athletes to see money like they haven't ever seen, and now taking the time. And LeBron just took the time to invest in his peoples, and they started to run an agent organization, which they started to employ freaking journalists, so-called journalists. And the narrative was pushed this whole Mike, LeBron debate, LeBron is better, and this, that, and the third. And now you're an agent of journalists that's on TV in front of these people that you signed the clutch. That's a leg up. You keep saying the same lie over and over again, it becomes believable. And now with the younger generation, that is their due. And like, I want to say that y'all be over bugging, but I put it in perspective. That's y'all do. People from certain generations had their guy. This is y'all do. This LeBron generation here, like my son's age and whatever. This is their dude. They didn't see Mike in real time. Not that they can't have a respect and appreciation for Mike from whatever watching video, but in real time, when it's live, it's different. It's just like doing this pre-recorded video, right? It hits different when you go live than watching a pre-recorded. Right? So that's the same concept I understand with these young guys. It's your dude. So you're going to go to bat with him. And what LeBron and Clutch has done is they realize that. So they're working to seize the moment in order to say, we got this generation, we got a lock on them. The other generation, the Mike Ikes and the Kobe Ikes or whatever, they're going to eventually move on. So these guys are going to be the stable, and if we can infuse their heads with LeBron is the guy, maybe we can do what LeBron said he originally planned to do, which was erase Mike. Erase Mike. What players come in the game and say, yo, I want to erase another player, like a memory wipe. We're going to do a memory wipe here. Like, even though Mike did a semi-memory wipe, you still was like, maybe Kareem though. And I still struggle. Like, so Kareem generation, when they say Kareem, that's their dude. That's their dude. I get it. And they can make a case. They can make a case. Because he was the all-time leading scorer for a minute. And we can go on with his accolades. We know he has more MVPs than LeBron and Mike. And he has 6 NBA championships. And he won one without Magic. He won one his rookie year. And you know he's like probably top 5 all time in blocks. He's up there in rebounds. Like, yo, who's that dude? The most unstoppable shot in basketball. And even prior to that, I know that when you talk about GOAT, you're not talking about, you know, college per se, but yo, this dude was a dog. This dude was part of the 88 and 0. So anybody from that era that want to rock with Kareem, that's their dude. That's their dude. I can get with that. I can definitely get with that. That's their dude. So Mike is my dude. I came in the tail end of Dr. J. That was my original dude, Dr. J. But he was at the latter part of his career when he came from the ABA to the NBA. I caught him in the NBA. I was too young to notice him, and he was tearing up stuff when he was in the ABA. But NBA was my guy. And Mike came. I only had a little bit of time when Mike came. And it was after his performances and watching him, that became my dude. That's my dude. And you got Kobe or what have you. That's people from Bill Russell's age. That's their dude. Now, the interesting thing though, is that probably universally speaking, because they had the people prior to us, maybe if that Kareem is their dude, or Bill Russell or Jerry West or whatever, they had the benefit of watching those guys and watching all these other guys I'm talking about. And if you universally ask guys that's not in the GOAT debate, and some are who in the GOAT debate, universally they will say Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. If you talk to guys who, you can talk to guys prior to me, guys like I said, Kareem, my dude, I watched him when he was in college, UCLA. I watched him at Powell Memorial in high school. I watched his career when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks, and then he went to the Los Angeles Lakers. And they know more intricate things because, like I said again, they weren't watching pre-recorded. They were watching live, and it's a difference. It's a different feel. So, yeah, blah, 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 Kareem. So, Wilt, same way. So, but these people had the benefit of watching everyone. Almost to the point where if you're a Russell fan, and or a Wilt fan, or what have you, Kareem, you almost watch the NBA almost since its inception, really, to be honest with you. Since it's really mattered, like Boston is really, we know about George Mike and some shit, but Boston, when you think about those dynasties and John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, Casey Jones, Bill Russell, when you think about all that, them guys, and that's like kind of the inception of basketball started really becoming like balling. It still has this, you guys say, oh, it's plumbers or whatever. I'm just saying, like, really on the radar like that. So these guys at university will say, probably Mike is the GOAT. So what I'm saying is I understand LeBron is y'all dude, but LeBron annoyed me because he went to a concerted effort, even to the point of hiring, not hiring, but representing journalists to push this narrative. And then you got LeBron on the chance. Yeah, when I won that one, I think that made me go. You got Rich Paul here tomorrow. I think LeBron's just has gold antlers, and maybe Mike's has this. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I guess you can't knock the hustle, right? Can't knock the hustle. However, you can evaluate the hustle. You can evaluate it. And so, and during my evaluation, I feel like that's the part, bro. So now so if you're gonna push that narrative like that and push it hard, then you gotta expect a pushback, period. Period. And furthermore, like I said before in one of my other videos, I understand why LeBron is doing this. Because you have residual income forever when you're the number one. When you see me as number one, nobody makes money like Michael Jordan in retirement. Okay? No one makes, that's like a former basketball player right now. Who makes more money than Michael Jordan as a basketball player? He's a billionaire, right? He's a billionaire. With the team, the brand, endorsements, whatever. So you can't even like name a number two, probably. So we know that you gotta rock with number one. To get that residual income, to have that long-lasting, when you retire, your kids, and not that LeBron will establish businesses or have anything like that. What I'm saying is that that global icon of Jumpman, yeah, you had to supersede that, and you did. And that's why you see the desperation on the way out the door. That's why you see all the rings don't matter. It's kind of weird. Another thing, it's kind of weird. Rings don't matter. But you up here talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. And if you didn't peak game, the only reason why he didn't stop at stop at 7 because he would have been giving it away that he's going after Mike. That's why he stopped at 8. That's it. But now rings don't matter. And you know, anybody can make a compelling case for the opposite side. So it's easy to start pointing at guys like, oh, you're going to tell me Charles Barkley's not great? Oh, you're going to tell me that Steve Nash is not great? You wasn't thinking that shit when you were sitting there on the stage talking that not 1, not 2 crap. So stop. Why are we doing that? Let's keep it a stat. That's what I'm saying. So now you're trying to change the narrative to fit your narrative because you're on the way out the door and you didn't get that what you said, I'm going to erase him. You didn't even touch him. What you did was you put yourself in a prime position to be able to be in a debate. To all of the shenanigans that y'all have done and the journalists and all of that, and people also getting on because the debate started when y'all created the environment for the debate. then people are getting on using this, even if you're not represented by Clutch. You know that this is a hot debate, so to get on and get your, get your paper, you going to take this side, just cause. So all that, having said all that, your fear is gonna come into fruition, and your fear is being forgotten. That's your fear. It's being forgotten. When I say forgotten, I mean in a way where you're not the face of old. When I say that is that even though right now you can have, like when Kobe was doing things, you can have LeBron and whoever's next up gonna be the face. Mike is still that looming icon that sits there, that has not been superseded. Okay? It sits there. So he's still the man. He's still sort of the face. And that's why they're bringing him back. Because they realize that we got to bring this thing back into perspective, because this guy's about to go out the door, and universally we know who we feel want to represent this league, and who, if we want to put the logo on the shirt or uniforms on the shirt, we see a lot of it anyway. But if it became like the logo of the NBA, and I think there's some rights or reasons I can't do that, but like the Jumpman being on the basketballs, being on all NBA apparel, wherever you see Jerry West, and have him removed in Jumpman. That's the only one that would be able to do that. Agree or disagree with that? He's the only one. If Jerry West was be removed as the iconic face figure of the NBA and replaced with another iconic figure to be placed on all their apparel and whatever they're putting out that they put out, who would it be? Who would it be? Of course, it would be Mike. So you didn't get that. You can retire today, tomorrow, next week, next year. You didn't achieve that. And now you're in a clusterfuck, because no matter what you do or where you go from here, you will not ever again get credit for a championship, even if you obtain one, unless you up in there really distinguishing yourself as, I'm the man in this series. Like that. But if you're playing a role, a part, second fiddle, even third, you can get all that fifth ring you want, but we're not jacking it like that. That boat has sailed, and you know that. You go to Dallas with Kyrie and Anthony Davis, not jacking it. Nope, not jacking it. You go to Cleveland, Devin Mitchell, and not jacking it. It's not. It's already a question of you being like not really always the number one in situations in the finals or what have you. Now you one out the door is one where you're the third guy. It's nice, respectable, commendable, but it don't rank up there. Period. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong about that. Don't rank up there. So it's kind of lights out. You couldn't supersede the sneaker. You couldn't supersede the sneaker. So that speaks value. If you're that guy, like, you should have superseded that. If you were 10-0, you would have took 8-0. Maybe even if that was reversed, even 6-4. That's like, yo, yeah, you can talk about 6-0 if you want with Mike, but he went to 10 and he got minis Mike. You had a shot. But with 6-0, it's perfection. And let me tell you something else. It seems to be a narrative that's forgotten that Mike, it was 3 years. It was 2 years. Because he didn't leave a full 2. I think after the 1.5. No, it was 2 years. Yeah, I think it was 2. He came back and then he left off 1, tried to come back in that half, got smoked, then came back, or what have you. So it was 3 years. We could be talking about maybe, and I'm going to agree, maybe 7 or 8. I'm not even going to go the whole 9. It was 3 more years that was left over the table that it could have been maybe 7 or 8. 2 years he took off, came right back and won. Come on, what are we talking about? came right back and won. No, I'm not talking about the out of shape Mike just jumping off the diamond and going right to the basketball court and getting the ball tipped from behind him. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Mike that came back the next year after suffering that and swept him. That's what y'all don't be jacking. This dude might be like, okay, y'all talk about Detroit. You talk about Detroit. Oh, he's going to get past Detroit. He swept him. When he finally got past Detroit, Mike was like the dude like, you know what? I'm going to put my foot so far down your throat and snipe right in your neck. I'm not letting you breathe at all. All that beating me up, you know, bullying on my team and doing all that extra stuff that you was doing. No mercy for you. Just like you gave it to me, giving it to you. And swept them. They didn't even smell a game in Detroit series once Mike took them. And that's why Isaiah started acting real shady. And then after the Orlando situation, when he came back and had the 45 or whatever, and they did that thing, he came back and swept Orlando. What Shaq? Get up out of here. And Penny. Bye. Nick Anderson. Scott. Dennis. Bye. Horace Grant. Yeah, you too, Horace. Yeah, you was over there chilling. You was doing it up, pom-pomming it up. They carrying you off the court to rub that shit in my face. Okay. And then y'all went and got swept, Orlando. We ain't got swept. Houston swept y'all up. Straight up. And y'all probably wouldn't have got swept, like I said before, if Nick Anderson had missed all those free throws. But nonetheless, you got swept. Okay? Then you came back and got swept the next year by Chicago. Okay? So, those 2 years. And then they broke the team up after they won the second three-peat. Phil's not coming back next year. Jerry Krause made that public in the beginning of the season. Phil Jackson will not be returning after this year. This is a team that's coming off. Yo, listen, they're coming off a back-to-back, going into the season, the last dance, going into the season, 2 in the three-peat. The coach that was part of the previous three-peat that they won, and the coach that kind of helped them sustain themselves even when Mike was gone, they did solid. Comes back, wins back-to-back on the second go-round, and before the season starts, you go, Phil won't be back. Where the fuck do they do that at? Where they do that at? When you win, and they be like, yo, you out. We're done here. I'm going to see here. And Mike was like, you know what? If y'all going to do that, I'm out. I'm not playing for another coach right now in my career. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And understandably so. You know, just like relationships. You can get in a relationship and you're not, like, even now some people be like, nah, I'm chilling, man. I ain't really looking to go out and really try to date right now, be with someone. I'm chilling right. Because I'm not trying to leave what I have. I'm chilling right now. I'm good with it. And you know what? I'm straight. I ain't trying to rework myself, relearn somebody else, get used to somebody else. What they like, what they don't like, what I don't like. This guy already knows all the ins and outs of our whole squad. So it's like, it's autopilot. It's just like when you have somebody at the job and they leave. Sometimes the person that had all that wealth of information on how to do this and how to do that, how to navigate, where to go here and there, and they leave for a minute, it'd be a little chaotic before you get to organize that stuff. And sometimes they'd be like, it never was the same since so-and-so left. So, understandably so, he didn't want to deal with that. But I'm just saying, that was 3 that was left out of the table. 6. So, we could be literally talking. So and it was funny because when Kevin Durant went on his rant on what does they say, mind the game, or I know they say mind the game concept, but it's also I forgot, I can't think of the little joke they say when they talk about that podcast, but he went on a little rant and he was like, this gets grueling. Yeah, it gets real grueling. Sometimes you gotta continually reset yourself, you know, refocus. I like every time the contract, you gotta refocus, you know. Some it's hard. It's so hard. Some people don't know how difficult and challenging this can be to reset yourself. You know? I know I just signed for $115 million. I know, but it's still hard. It's still hard. You know, and everybody can't do it. I'm like, you better be thankful he wanted to play for baseball. You, boy, do you know he could have won the only team? Well, I know, no, Boston. He could have been second team. He could have won 4 straight, maybe 5. Do you know that? Like, you're not even in the GOAT conversation with him now. You are LeBron. Imagine if he won 4 straight, or 5 straight, or 7 out of 8, or something like that. 7 out of 9, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9. Imagine that. Durant. Hey, Kev, imagine that. You can't touch him now. You don't even be a talker. Like, don't even, yo, listen, word bond, don't even be disrespectful like that. Don't even do that, son. We not gonna even talk about Mike like that, yo. Don't even bring his name out of your mouth, son. No. If you look like Mike, if it's like an M is gonna come out your mouth, yo, you better think about it and rethink it, because I might smack that M out of your mouth. Like, don't even dream about it, son. What? No. What? Oh, I was gonna say Mike. Oh, I was gonna say Mike. Oh, you said make that. Make. My bad. I thought you was gonna say Mike. I thought I was Mike. I thought I had to unleash on you, fam. You good, fam. You good. Go ahead, fam. You good. I thought you was gonna say something else, fam. Shh. Oh, here. I was gonna say something else, man. I was gonna get at you, fam. You good though? You good? You didn't say. Wow. What you talking about, man? Serious? What are we talking about here, man? Taking shots at greatness like that? And I ain't even go the emotional way and say, it's messed up. Because his dad died, Kevin. And you can't relate and have empathy for that situation. You don't know. Not even doing all that, yo. I'm going the other route. That route where it could be 4. Like that shit. Let me read you. So that shit that LeBron was saying, that could have been some real shit for Mike. That not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. That could have been some real shit. Not 8, could have been 9 for Mike potentially. Now, do I think personally he probably would have got 9? I don't believe. Getting championships like that is extremely challenging to win them like that. But you don't know. But he won 3 straight. Let's do the math. Can you just go with me here somewhere? Can you just follow me? Can you hang out with me for a little bit? Just hang out with me for a little bit, right? Let's do the math. Let me see. 3 or 2 plus 2 5. Came back, and then he won 3 straight again. So 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 2 is 8. And then that last year, when they didn't bring the team back together, even though they were still, they just came up with 3 people. That could have been 9. Wow. There's really no reason for us to think not. Because when he started winning, and he was fully present, he never lost. And he never even went to a Game 7 in the finals that he did play in. So if one looks at history, one probably could say that there's a possibility that he could have won 8 or 9 straight. Or at least with it 8, 9. Wow. And maybe won 7, 8 out of 9. These are all possibilities. 9-0. We know he went 6-0. We do know that. So we can't go below 6. Because that's factual. So the only thing we do is go up. So we got 9 there. So we can go, all right, so we already got 6. So we go see. He could have been 7 out of 9. He could have been 8 out of 9. He could have even been 9 out of 9. Wow. Interesting. So listen, that junk that Kevin Durant was talking, you actually should be lucky, my guy. For real, for real. Because you have not, or LeBron has not experienced dominance like that. The only one coming closest to experience, well, not the only one. The one that comes the closest to dominance in the three-peat like that is Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe. Now I know Russell, you gotta go back to Russell. It's only like three peats in 3 times that people won 3 championships in a row. Russell, Mike, and Kobe. And Shaq. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, I just want to get a multitude of things out there. So go ahead and in the comments and go off and go off and go off and let's go off. Alright, I'm out.